Hey, what's going on, guys? Alright, so I wanted to do this one video, and it's regarding the war on cash. I've seen headline after headline for the past month, and how the elite and these bankers and the government and all these employees working at these universities want to see the ban of cash. Now, why would these individuals want to see a ban of cash? They believe that it's going to eliminate the boom-bust cycle, and that is probably the most ludicrous thing that I've heard of, if you actually think about it. Number one, you have individuals at Citigroup, one of their economists said, hey, we should ban cash. You have Gordon Brown, former Prime Minister of London. He said, hey, we should ban cash. You have these Keynesian economists in Germany saying we should ban cash. Also, you want to look at JP Morgan. What's crazy was that they said that you cannot have cash in a lockbox anymore. We've also seen the war on cash over the past 10, 12 years. Ever since they passed the Patriot Act, what has been happening is if you go to a bank saying that, hey, I want to take out $5,000, $6,000. I've had family members tell me that they tried doing this, and they're going to get scrutinized. If you take out under $1,000, not really. They're not going to bug you. But especially these smaller banks, they're going to start scrutinizing you. And the reason is the Patriot Act forces these banks to do so, and also the banks don't have the money. Banks don't have the money because of fractional reserve lending. You have to remember that a lot of these banks lend their money into illiquid securities. So we've seen the slow transition of the war against cash. And over time, people have been accustomed to using their debit and credit cards. So you usually don't pay cash. I mean, I go to pay cash these taxi drivers because they always prefer that. And I also go to bars, pay cash, pay tips in cash, right? So I like using cash. That's my preference. Even though, hey, people say it's fiat, this and that, whatever. It's just my own personal preference. But what I find really interesting is that if you ban cash, what is going to be the reaction of these individuals? The individuals are going to change their behavior. But that being said, they haven't instituted a ban on cash. So as a result, we're not going to see it happen overnight. You're not going to see the change of behavior. But over time, once they start eliminating cash or preventing cash from being used, or imposing all these capital controls, what's going to be the response? And I believe what's going to end up happening, you could see this with the next downturn in the economy, the next bubble. Some people say it's sovereign bonds, some people say it's muni bonds, some people say it's the stock market, whatever it is. When the derivatives have trouble, people are going to say, hey, we should come up with a solution. The solution is having a war on cash. So what's going to end up happening after that? You're going to see individuals make a different decision. What they're going to do is they're going to change their behavior, and I feel that they're going to take their money this time that's in the bank, and they're just going to invest it. They're going to invest it in the stock market. They're going to invest it in commodities, hard money, such as gold and silver. But then what they're going to do to try to prevent people from buying gold and silver, in my opinion, is they're going to levy a tax on it. So if you try to sell it, you're going to get a capital gains tax. Much higher than that would be for other assets. It's going to be higher than where it is right now. Also, you want to look at the craziness of what these individuals are saying. They're saying that this war on cash, if we eliminate cash or do our best job to do so, it's going to eliminate this boom-bust cycle, which I find to be ridiculous because at the end of the day, what about the derivatives? The derivatives are a more problem, have much more of a problem than cash, for instance. You have to remember that when it comes to the derivatives markets, there is so much leverage, it is ridiculous. Normally, I would say, hey, you know what? Don't regulate this. Right? In a free market, derivatives could be used in a responsible manner. But now we have the addition of alcohol in the system with the Federal Reserve and central banks backstopping these banks, saying that, hey, you know what, you guys can do whatever the hell you want to do, and we don't give a rat's behind. We're giving you the license of green light to speculate like crazy, like in Vegas, without you having to foot the bill. The bill's going to go to the taxpayers. And the crazy part is you can see leverage like 100 to 1. And individuals, right? I'm not recommending individuals to do this, but people, they have a choice. They don't necessarily have to invest in the stock market. Some individuals who are risk takers, and I think part of this risk taking is a bit dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, is investing in the futures markets or speculating in the futures markets. I mean, I do. I mean, it's not too much of my money, but at the end of the day, the amount of leverage that they give you is ridiculous for some of these transactions or for some of these trades. I mean, you could be leveraged 30 to 1, 40 to 1, 50 to 1. And if you look at the derivatives markets, 100 to 1, some of these bond markets, 100 to 1, it's crazy, right? I mean, most of these individuals, retail, they don't participate in this. But like the high-end guys, yeah, they invest and they speculate in all of this. And then the taxpayers have to foot the bill when these big banks speculate in all these crazy securities. And it blows up in their face. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that if you try to ban cash, it's not going to prevent individuals at these big banks from making stupid decisions, right? And it usually happens every 8 years where these trades blow up in their faces, right? I mean, some of the banks are going to make money, and then the other half, they're going to lose a shitload of money. So the problem is leverage in the system. If they want to tackle what the issue is, it's leverage, and central banks backstopping that leverage. Now, if they want to come up with leverage ratios, right, I'm not for all these rules and regulations, but that'd be maybe a better way if they have this central banking system to tackle the problems that we have, right? Banning cash, that's going to do jack. At the end of the day, you're still going to have the problems of this boom-bust cycle. It's going to be electronic money now. It's going to be, like I said, the derivatives markets, the over-counter market, right? So these economists, what they're talking about is crazy. These guys, for the most part, have not participated in the private sector since they're employed by the government usually, right? The government subsidizes these universities, unless if it's private, right? So these guys who have no experience, they're telling us that we should ban cash or do our best job in banning cash, which in my opinion is going to do nothing when we have this next boom and bust cycle, and that's most likely going to be in sovereign bonds, the way that I see it as of right now. And then what bonds could blow up after that? You could see a rise in Japanese interest rates. You could see a rise in U.S. interest rates. And as a disclosure, I am short right now Japanese bonds via put options. Started that trade in April, right? I'm going to continue that on for the next few years, but that's via put options. So I'm not shorting the underlying security because that's dangerous in my opinion. But looking at it, these central bankers or central planners are crazy. They have no idea what they're talking about, saying that we should ban cash. Ridiculous. At the end of the day, we're still going to see the boom-bust cycle. It's just going to be crazier than what we've seen in our lives. And also, what this may end up doing is this may send funds into electronic money, right? Bitcoins, people laugh at Bitcoins, but you could see Bitcoins or some sort of electronic currency benefit if they actually institute a huge war on cash. That's the winner out of all of this. If you look at Blight Masters and Vikram Pandit, former CEO of Citigroup, they're investing in electronic currency. They're investing in Bitcoin. The Winklevoss twins are investing in the Bitcoin ETF. That's where this is headed. This is the cues that they're giving us. It's just a matter of when. When are they going to implement all of this? Probably at the next crisis. That's how they could do this. That's what they did with TARP. when people were desperate. But actually, a lot of people were against it. That's the crazy part. They implemented all these crazy regulations, and the American people were against it. We shall see what they're going to do next time. Hopefully, it's not going to lead to war or anything like that, but who knows? These guys are crazy. Anyways, thanks for listening to me, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.